EACC Math Lesson number 4, Multiplying and Dividing with Fractions. This is Caulfield from one of my favorite comics called Fraz. And Caulfield is always trying to get Mrs. Olson's goat, so he makes a couple of ridiculous statements and then ends with this last ridiculous statement. Fractions just don't seem like something I'll use the rest of my life. Well, Mr. Caulfield, I'm afraid you're wrong there. Okay, so fractions do occur in things we have to work with, measurements, all sorts of areas. And the first thing we're going to look at is how we multiply fractions. And if we look at our steps to multiply, first simply multiply numerators and denominators together. You multiply straight across, okay? And then second, you reduce your answer if needed. Okay, so 2 times 3 is 6, 5 times 4 is 20. I know 6 and 20 are both divisible by 2, so we end up with 3/10. Okay, or if you notice we had to reduce at the end. If you simplify in the beginning, most of the time you won't have to reduce in the end. For example, I can see here that 2 will go into 4. It'll go in there 2 times. So 2 goes itself once, it goes into 4 twice. Now multiplying straight across, I get 3 in my numerator and 10 in my denominator. So I get the same answer. I just simplified in the beginning instead of the end. Either way is okay. Okay, sometimes we have to work with mixed numbers. Remember the little algorithm here. When you have a mixed number such as 2 3/4 here, you start by multiplying this denominator with the whole number and then add it to the numerator. So 4 times 2 is 8, plus 3 more is 11/4. Okay, if you want to work backwards now, if we want to convert an improper fraction to a mixed number, we're actually going to carry out the long division like you learned back in what, 3rd and 4th grade. 3 goes into 7 2 full times with a remainder of 1. So our final answer is 2, and the remainder is 1/3. 1 out of 3 left. Okay, so we want to multiply 2 mixed numbers together. Here, it really is better to turn them into improper fractions. So I'm going to use my algorithm. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 1 more, so that's going to be 11/5. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 more is 5/4. And now, I'm going to simplify a little bit first. I can see I can take a 5 out of both this numerator and that denominator. Multiplying straight across, I get 11/4. And now rewriting this as a mixed number, 4 goes in 11 2 full times. 4 times 2 is 8, so that means I have a remainder of 3. So 2 3/4 is my final answer. Okay, another one. Turn it into improper fractions. 7 times 3 is 21, plus 2 is 23/7. Times 9 times 1 is 9, plus 5 more is 14/9. Okay, I can see a little simplifying here. I know 7 will go in itself once, it'll go into 14 twice. Multiplying straight across now, I get 46/9. And carrying out the long division, I know 9 will go into 46 5 full times. That's going to be 45, so I'll have a remainder of 1. So I get 5 1/9. Okay, along with multiplying, we need to be able to divide fractions. And there's one pretty simple rule. When you're dividing with fractions, you take the reciprocal of the one you're dividing by. That's always the second one. So you flip it over. And then you carry out the multiplication and you reduce or simplify your answer as much as possible. Alright, so we've got a 7.5-inch pipe that needs to be cut into 3 equal pieces. How much long should we make each piece? So we've got 7.5, and we're dividing that into 3 equal pieces. Okay, so 7.5 times, now 3, the whole number 3 can be written over 1, so when I take its reciprocal, I'm going to write it as 1/3. 7.5, I'm going to rewrite that as 15 halves times 1/3. Do a little simplifying first. Multiply straight across, so I get 5/2. Rewrite it as a mixed number. 2 goes into 5 2 times with a remainder of 1. So each piece should be 2.5 inches long without any waste. Okay? Again, when you're multiplying, you don't need a common denominator. You do not need it. Don't make it too hard. You simply multiply straight across, numerator by denominator, then simplify the answer, or simplify first and then multiply straight across. When you're dividing, remember to change the operation from division to multiplication and take the reciprocal. Flip that second fraction over. Okay, here's a couple to try. Again, teachers, if you want to stop the tape here and let the students complete these on their own first, I'll give the answers here in a second, and you can restart it and see that. Okay, so the first one, I'm going to rewrite the second fraction, or the second mixed number, as 13/6. I'm going to do a little simplifying. 3 goes into itself once, it goes into 6 2 times. Multiplying straight across, I get 13/8, and 8 will go into 13 one full time with a remainder of 5. So my first answer is 1 5/8. The second one, I'm going to rewrite 2 3/8 as 19/8. 8 times 2 is 16, plus 3 more is 19, times, I'm going to flip the second one over. The reciprocal of 2/5 is 5 halves. This one doesn't simplify any further, so I'm going to multiply straight across. So 19 times 5 is 95. 8 times 2 is 16. Carrying out the division then, I know 16 will go into 95 5 full times. That gives me 80. So I have a remainder of 15, so I have 15/16 then. So 5 15/16 is the final answer. Okay, you've got some problems in front of you to do there. If you have questions, please let me know, and I'll help you out the best that I can. See you later.